Howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. It is gray and foggy outside, though pretty light, and very, very cold. Ooh, brr. I had to go outside this morning, and oh my gosh, it's very, very cold. I moderately slept last night, got to bed very, very late, fell asleep pretty quick, woke up earlier than I like, but still was able to stay in bed till about 6:30. So I've been up since then, but thumbs up, got a little bit of sleep, and hopefully you've been able to sleep, and hopefully it's a good day where you are. Thumbs up for that. And of course, front-loading the videos, hey, if you could toss me a like, it'd be awesome. If you could subscribe to the channel, it'd be very cool. If you could leave me a comment, that would be double plus good. And I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These are actually literal, beautiful, and awesome people that help to keep me and my aging pet metabolizing. I appreciate that. She appreciates that. Thumbs up and thank you. And if you would like to help to keep us metabolizing, I have links to my Patreon in the video description, along with a PayPal for possible donations, an Amazon wishlist link with things like pet food, and a post office box where if you send me anything at all, I'll open it up on camera. Thumbs up for that. Front loading of videos over. Yay! First off, something that may make me cry as I talk about it. I have the game The Last of Us. I don't have The Last of Us 2. I don't know if I want to play it. I still can't play the first one all the way through because I hate the character Joel. But, given that, I was watching and listening, well, I have been watching and listening to reviews for The Last of Us TV series and heard that 1 and 2 were really good. And then I watched Jeremy Johns, who talks about movies, and he was movies and TV, and he was reviewing episode 3. I was concerned because every video I see on this, everyone looks like they think that they dropped the ball in the thumbnails. But oh my God, when he talked about what's going on, I didn't realize that there was a character there whom is very grumpy, a jerk. And then they show in the TV series why. And there's a deviation in the game, because in the game the character continues, but in the TV series, I'm not going to try and do any spoilers in case you watch it, but the character in the game doesn't last in the TV series, and it makes sense. And I just hearing the review of it, it makes me cry. So, oh my God. It's not, they didn't drop the ball. There's a game/2 series deviation, but apparently it is really good still. Hokey smokes. And Matt Pat had a theory about what was causing, how everything happened, how people got all this disease. Because, yeah, they said if it was a spore, it would all be over. And yeah, it's true. If it was really spread by spores, we'd all be gone. There would be no survivors. And Matt Pat on his game theory thing was talking about how it had to have been being spread via food, specifically flour, which gets spread around, and then everyone would eat it, and then it could happen really quickly. And then in episode 3, not to spoil anything, but yeah, that it was confirmed that maybe not specifically flour, because, who knows, but they knew it was in food that got distributed around the world. So thumbs up. Now, I'm going to talk about some other stuff here. First off, oh my gosh, there is a condition that some people have that is, I don't know the full terms, but it's like cold-related urticaria, which is they'll go out into the cold. And then when they come back in to get warm, they get red spots, huge red spots, and it's itchy, and they get welts, hives. They're allergic to cold-related urticaria. They can actually go into anaphylactic shock and need an EpiPen from being cold. Now, there are medications that can help. So it appears to be more of a genetic thing. So there must be other conditions out there that, without being cold-related urticaria, mimic that. Because I have noticed that for the past couple months, ever since it got winter this time, I will come back from my walkies and it's been itchy right here. And it gets red and itches on my wrists right here. But it doesn't do it all the time. And then I went walkies last night and it was freezing. It was freezing when I started, got colder and colder and colder. Was no ice when I started my walking. Everything was icy before I even started my walk back. And then when I got back, I washed my hands in hot water. And the minute I did that, these areas turned bright red. And oh my God, did they itch. And I had raised welts. I had hives. I developed some form of cold-related urticaria on my hands. Luckily not my face, but then I don't wash my face with hot water when I get back. And these parts of my arm, I generally put my hands in my pockets. My sleeves come down to about here. My hands are in my pockets here. These spots are directly in the cold. And then I come home and I wash them in hot water. And then they get raised welts and itchy, and it's awful. So I don't think it's actual cold-related urticaria, which is, just raised itchy spots. But it's something that seems to mimic it. Yay? So I'm not going to go washing my face with hot water just to check. And let me see what else. Oh, yes, I was also watching another food theory with Pat. You need to be careful if you drink stuff from Panera, because they have a drink that a medium drink has 260 some odd milligrams of caffeine in it. I take caffeine tablets, 200 milligrams. That is a lot. The drink is more. And the large one has almost 400 milligrams of caffeine in it. And get this, almost, because the maximum amount that you should take caffeine in a day is 400 milligrams. And they post in tiny letters with no indication that they're saying anything that the drink has 390 milligrams of caffeine. So if something happens and you die, they are legally okay because they posted that, hey, it's got this much caffeine and it does not have a lethal amount, so you can't come at us legally. The problem, of course, with all this is people that drink this stuff, they feel good. You go to Panera and you drink one of these things and you feel good because caffeine is a stimulant. You get really hyped up. You can do things. You're ready and working. You feel good. And you associate that with Panera. A lot of foods are microdosing with caffeine, a drug. You are being drugged in your food because you eat it, you feel good and hyped up, and you associate that with the brand. You are being drugged with caffeine, the most widely used stimulant in the world, to associate that good feeling with the product that you're eating. The problem is that adds up, and if you have more than one large drink from Panera, that's 800 milligrams of caffeine. And when I said if you die, 400 milligrams of caffeine can kill you. People have died from that. And it's not older people. Young people, middle-aged people, older people have died from just 400 milligrams of caffeine, which makes me think I should be more careful and not take a full gram of caffeine during a day. But with my ADHD, my pulse doesn't go up, my blood pressure doesn't go up. The only effect is I actually get sleepy when I take caffeine. But you can die easily from this. So watch your foods. Look for the caffeine intake, Because according to the United States Food and Drug Administration, all a company has to do is tell you that it includes caffeine. They don't even have to tell you how much. So be careful. And let's see if there's anything else on this one. Well, there's also the, with WotC and all, with a Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, and how they've backed off and done some really good things. Except, of course, with the OGL and releasing their 5e as a source resource document and all, you don't need any of that if you want to produce D&D material. Under U.S. copyright law, and this has been challenged and upheld, you cannot copyright game mechanics. You can copyright the way they're presented, but you can't copyright the actual mechanics themselves. Which is why through so many of the years, the decade since D&D has come out, there have been unofficial third-party D&D products, because if you just mix up the order of the stats, it's not presented in the same way, different idea, not protected by copyright. And so people have done this for decades. You really don't need the OGL. So the fact that they've done all this stuff, technically you actually don't need it. But the fact that they've done it and released this stuff is nice. They have not released the copyrighted stuff. They have not released monsters or spells or magic, stuff like that, because that's copyrighted stuff. They're not releasing that. Problem is, of course, is people are being told, we won. They're also being told, you can't forgive and forget. WotC, Hasbro, came to the door with fire and guns. And it was just sheer luck and pluck on our side that we won. And they took their torches and their weapons and went home. Never forget that they came to the door with weapons and fire. They backed off now. They will be back. We know that because they did it once. And this isn't the first time. They'll do it again. They have to. They're a corporation. And unfortunately, corporations, public corporations, run under the concept of you have to have infinite growth. You have to do better next quarter than you did the previous quarter. You can still be growing, but if you're not growing faster than you grew last quarter, then that's considered a loss. Even though you're growing and making more money than you did before, your growth is just slower than shareholders want. And if you're in charge when that happens, they'll just oust you and get somebody else. Infinite growth. How is that going to happen, especially now when people are having trouble just surviving? But never forget, they will be back. Screw WotC. Games will survive. The companies come and go. And I've been doing a lot of thinking about the relationship between Anthony Sclera and TLOU, the cryptid, in my cryptid setting, where I've mentioned that Anthony Sclera is an up-and-coming crime boss, and one of the things that he has as an actual advantage is TLOU, his best friend, a cryptid, and they are best of friends. I've been working on, because I follow my subconscious on all this, the relationship between the two of them, because Anthony Sclera, if you gamify these things, if you have if your cryptid vision in gamified terms is between 0 and 50, you got nothing. It's not enough that your third eye opens. If it's 51 plus, your third eye has opened and you're starting to see in the cryptid world. The lower it is, the less you see. The higher it is, the more you see. But the higher it is, the less you're able to interact with the lower parts of reality. You're having to deal with just up here stuff. Human beings start being able to less interact with you or even see you. They will see you, but they'll just drift away and then forget that you were even there. Even while they're looking at you, they're forgetting. He's got mid to low 70s, which is pretty good. And some human beings do have some minor abilities without, conscious control. He is a natural cloaker. He has this cryptid vision, but to other human beings, he appears just to be a human being. There are these sort of things, and there are tools called focuses that are made by people who are artisans, where they can focus and twist these energies and put it into a spot, and then put that spot into an item. So you can have little devices that are like cloakers, like he's a natural cloaker. You carry this thing and activate it, and if you're a cryptid, it just goes, oh, it cloaks down your cryptid presence, so you appear to be human. Turn it off, and whoa. Artisans are freakish people, unfortunately. The more you're able to make these things, the less sane you are. And when we're talking about cryptids, that is saying something. So, thumbs up for that. But Lou and Anthony, growing up, after Tony asked Lou to eat this kid, Lou comes back and is just gushing, absolutely gushing about how good this kid tasted, how good it felt to eat him, how good it felt to have that kid in his stomach, just gushing over how delicious human beings are. He never knew it. He's just amazed. And he notices that Tony's getting kind of quiet. And when he asks him about it, he explains, he's going to ask him a really stupid question, and then he's going to explain why it's a stupid question, and then he's going to ask Lou to laugh at him. Because when he's talking to Lou, and Lou's talking about how good it felt to eat that kid, Lou asks him, have you ever thought, well, Lou doesn't ask him, Tony asked Lou, have you ever thought about eating me? And after that, it's stupid. It's ridiculous. You made me feel jealous. Talking about how good he felt and tasted to eat, I started to feel jealous. And that's stupid because I don't want to die. Would you want to eat me? And Lou is, of course, well, no, we're friends. I mean, we're best of friends. I wouldn't want to eat you. And so Tony asks him, it's like, well, what if I wasn't a friend? And so Lou decides, and they both decide Lou's going to evaluate him just as a cryptid who isn't a friend. This is where, and I haven't talked about this enough, but I need to on some of these other things. Lou just shudders drop behind his eyes. Anything human just drains out of him. Cryptids can go extremely uncanny valley, just dropped, and the animal tilt of head with no other real movements. But he just leans forward and just sniffs long and hard into Tony's hair, leans back and looks at him, and then leans in again and licks his neck from here to here, and then shoves his face into his armpit, and of course a hand into his pants between skin and underwear, and cups him between his legs real fast to get all that sweat in there. And when he pulls back from his armpit, licks those fingers clean, and then just looks at him and says, oh yes, I would eat you. You taste delicious. If you weren't my friend, you would be in my belly right now. Oh yes, I would eat you. I would eat you in a heartbeat. But you're my friend. You're my best friend. There's no reason in the world that I would even want to eat you. And in time, that still stays true. Tony would die for Lou. Lou would die for Tony. Lou would never eat Tony. Sure, he'd be freaking delicious, but they're friends. Why would he want to do that? And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments on my community tab. Going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count in American Sign Language, well, it's fun having ADHD, being an autistic person, suffering from depression, and being medicated in a not thoroughly good and covering fashion. We have Jesse Koskinen. Oh, whatever Watsy does. 77 Arcturus, thumbs up, thank you, greatly appreciated. And yeah, it's good to see you as well, Jesse Koskinen. So thumbs up, greatly appreciated, and hopefully the weather will continue to be good. And thumbs up on that. Amino Dev, greatly appreciated. And I occasionally drop torches, but I hate wasting them as well. So thumbs up, thank you much. And yeah, I really need to do a lot more. I am just absolutely terrified in Minecraft. I don't think well. Chris, thumbs up, thank you much. Good to see you as well. Floramu, thumbs up, thank you very, very much. And Confused Owl 29, I'm going to have to gather gold for powered rails then, aren't I? JAYY, thumbs up, thank you so very much. Greatly, greatly appreciated. And then there is SALAHEDDINE 55, who writes, how about an Islamic reaction? I'll have to check up on that. We'll have to see what's going on there. There is Tomageddon, thumbs up with some information about Minecraft. Nation Scrub 0, greatly appreciated, thumbs up, thank you very, very much. And Tercio Sonic, thumbs up, thank you very, very much. I got some spam I gotta get rid of in here. Bigfoot's Descendant, greatly, greatly appreciated. And that is it, 12 people. Yeah, I got spam for psychedelics are proven to be a cure. Yeah, I gotta get rid of that, thumbs up. Anyway though, thumbs up. God, I gotta stop saying that. Thank you very much for leaving me a comment to get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Yay! Well, today is today, so I'm going to try and do what I can. That's a good thing. Very, very much so. So hopefully you can get done the things that you need to get done. That would be good. And of course, if people are getting sick where you are, please to take precautions. If they're getting hurt where you are, take precautions. And if you're out walking and you hear the mournful howl of the bus horn from the bus with your name on it, yeah, you can run, you can hide. But even if you're under the ground, hiding in a bathroom stall in a tiny, tiny underground basement bathroom, that bus is still gonna hit you. You'll hear that horn echoing through the halls. It's on its way. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing.